I would now like to invite on stage the moderator, Mr. Murtaza Al-Lawati. Murtaza is a popular media personality in Oman, having worked as a TV and radio presenter for over 15 years. I would now like to invite the panelists, Mr. Dhafir Al-Shihri, Director of SWPC, Mr. Mansour Ali Al-Abdali, MD at OQGN, Mr. Sami Lawati, Technical Director at PDO, Mr. Saif bin Hamid Al-Ramhi, Clean Energy Specialist at Environmental Authority of Oman, Mr. Harsha Shetty, CEO of Jindal Shadid.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So I've been given the most difficult task of having one of the most interesting panels and a very short time to go through it. So hopefully, I'd request the panel members and we try and keep the questions as short as possible so I can ask as many as possible, but I'm not going to go over 3 questions, hopefully. So sustainability, I think, is a topic of paramount importance in today's evolving world. I think we live in an era that's defined by both unprecedented global challenges and remarkable opportunities, and the pursuit of sustainable practices has never been more critical. Now, I'm going to start off the question with Mansour. First of all, congratulations on an amazing IPO. I think you've been the talk of the town. So I think OQGen requires a hand of applause on that IPO. Mansour, Oman's Vision 2040 sets ambitious goals for sustainability, including becoming a key producer and exporter of hydrogen, and achieving zero routine flaring by 2030. So what strategies and actions is OQGN taking to contribute to this specifically? And what are the goals of sustainability that you guys have outlined?
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for your nice words. And we in OQGN delighted to become a public listed company. You must all have heard about the company, and I'm sure a lot of you here have invested or at least attempted to buy shares on the company, which is oversubscribed by big amount. For the sustainability, I think Engineer Saif have touched some of this in his first panel discussion. But I would like to elaborate the way we look at sustainability, and I'll try to be concise. We're looking at from within, i.e. into our operational excellence, and as part of our growth plans. And for within, what we have done, we started by setting up a sustainability committee. And now we have a sustainability team focusing on ensuring the delivery of the company sustainability program within the national agenda. For example, we just finished wrapping up our decarbonization strategy. And for that, it's now we embedding that as part of several strategical initiatives which should take us the coming 5 years. For example, the national agenda is to reduce 7% of flaring by the year 2030. And we try to set up our operations such that these targets are within that, those timelines. There's also some programs related to energy efficiency. So this is within our operational excellence. But as part of our growth, we are leveraging on company success and expertise in the transportation of natural gas to become also a player into providing infrastructure for the transportation other sources of energy, like what Engineer Saif mentioned in terms of hydrogen, and as well as we're trying to be a player in the CCUS. We're very proud to say we are amongst the utility service providers in the country. We are the first to sign an MOU with Hydrom, and Dr. Firas is here. We are very appreciative of his support. We're also intending to be a player in the transportation of CO2, and we're already talking to the various stakeholders, either from the emitter side or from sink, or to satisfy the utilization and sequestration of CO2.
Thank you for that answer, Mansour. I'll move on to Saad Zafar. Of course, he's the director of the Saudi Water Partnership Company. Now, given Saudi Arabia's substantial oil reserves, how does the Water Reserve Initiative contribute to the country's overall strategy? Of course, when it comes to diversifying resources and securing a sustainable future.
First of all, thank you very much for having us today, and I want to express my gratitude for Gulf Leader Circle and also to Muscat Modern Media Group and to the sponsors. Actually, Saudi Arabia geographically is the second largest oil reserve, as you mentioned. Also, it has 17% out of the world oil reserve. Geographically, Saudi Arabia located in water intense and scarcity of water, and that has a challenge. However, Saudi government take all the necessary actions and all of the responsibility to make it available, the water, and to make it for this generation and future generation to have their own needs. When we go to these challenges, we start by supply, which is the of water sources. Saudi Arabia is the pioneer of desalination, so the plan to go from 9 million cubic of water per day to 18 million cubic water per day. This is 80% out of the municipal water in Saudi Arabia is coming from desalination. Also, when we go to transmitting this water and bring it to demand centers, it needs resilience system, resilience pipelines. So they are going from 40% to 50% increase in the capacity of transmitting this water. When we go to demand side as well, there is a National Water Conservation and Efficiency Center that will bring down the consumption per capita from 276 cubic meter to 150 to 200 cubic meter, because Saudi Arabia is one of the top water consumer. When it comes to optimizing also on demand side agriculture, Saudi Arabia has almost 84% accounting for agriculture, so the strategy changed to make this more dependence on the high value agriculture with less intense water. Also, when it comes to irrigation system, the Saudi Arabia and other countries usually they lose during the distribution of water leakages, so they try to optimize this and increase the efficiency by 50%. Also, I would like to highlight the waste treatment. Waste treatment is a space where it doesn't touch much of reuse of this treatment. So we are going from 86% to 100% treatment, wastewater treatment, and reuse going from 26 to almost 75% of reuse, and that can be used in industry and also to other users. With that in mind, and all of this initiative and all of these projects ongoing, Ministry of Water and Environment and Agriculture has $80 billion budget for coming projects and for coming future. I believe such initiatives and such project and plan will make it sustainable for current and present generation to have their own use, meeting the rapid demand, either urban or economic growth that we are putting. We also draw on our strength from the Vision 2030 and also from National Water Strategy that put all the effort together to make this happen, inshallah.
MashaAllah. Great initiatives to hear about. I'll move to Sasami in PDO. So Oman is actively exploring alternative fuel sources, including coal and renewable. And we heard a lot about the different, I never knew there were so many different colors of hydrogen. I found out today, I thought it was just hydrogen. But anyway, so Oman is exploring other renewables, coal and renewable, and it's part of Vision 2040. Can you elaborate a little bit on the current or future projects at PDO that will contribute directly to our vision, Vision 2040?
Thank you very much for that question. It's a very good question, and it's a pleasure to be with the esteemed guest and in presence of His Excellency. So I think for many in the room that are very familiar what PDO is all about, but for our friends and colleagues from Saudi, perhaps a very quick introduction about PDO being the largest oil and gas producer in the country. We produce about 660,000 barrels per day of black oil, about 90,000 barrels of condensate, about 2.1 BCF of gas every day. And we do that through about 200 plus oil reservoir, about 50 gas reservoirs, 30,000 kilometers of flow lines and pipelines. And we have about 60 rigs. We drill about 1,000 wells per annum. So with that, all that activity, we're still looking at growing significantly our production, with which comes the challenges of sustainability. And that challenge is, I think, nicely framed by His Majesty's directive in October last year, which was launched in COP27, where Oman said we are going to go for NZE 2050, and we've embraced the same as well. And in fact, we've gone a bit further and said, right, we want to in fact halve our emissions by 2030. And that means that you don't produce any molecule, but you produce an abated molecule, a molecule which actually is low carbon. And to do that, you obviously have to strategize how you do that, and hence the entire decarbonization, like yourselves, the entire decarbonization strategy that we have put on the table, through which we are looking at how do we reduce emissions and still continue to grow. And one of the, I think, one of the key projects, for example, and the many, I mean, we've got 150 projects in our portfolio that we are actually implementing, but one of the key that I wanted to highlight is actually on power, because power generation causes about, industry-wise, also about 60% plus of emissions come from there. So we are, at this point in time, about 10% of our power comes from renewables. By about 2026, 30% of our power will be coming from renewables, because we are actually going into, and in fact already in the market, with going into 3 renewable projects, a mix of wind and solar. And that is actually in together with OQ, AE. They are the national champion for doing renewable projects, and they're doing that work on our behalf as well. And by 2030, we would have 50% of our power be generated by renewable. So we are basically very much in a well-integrated ecosystem that we have to take care of, and that's what our contribution to it is. And I think one last thing I would like to add to that is, I think, and this is probably the right, and the messages have come here as well, is there is no path to net zero emission without collaboration, and this is the forums that we actually come and collaborate. One of the examples we are collaborating with, and Dr. Faraz actually mentioned it, is the agreement that we have signed with Shell, looking at how do you actually capture carbon and utilize it for EOR for our purpose as well. So those are just some of the examples that we are working on, which actually fits very nicely with Vision 2040.
Thank you very much. Harsh, in today's world, sustainability has become a critical focus for industries all over. Could you share some specific initiatives and strategies that Jindal Steel has undertaken to minimize its environmental impact and promote sustainable practices within the steel industry in Oman?
Sure. First of all, thank you very much for having Jindal Steel the part of this August forum in the presence of His Excellency. It's a pleasure. If there is one industry in the world which has to decarbonize first, it's steel industry. 8% of the greenhouse gases being emitted today is because of the steel industry. And Jindal Shadid is proud to share with you that as per the World Steel Association, the average carbon dioxide emission per ton of steel is 2.32 tons per ton of steel. And at Jindal Shadid, it's just 1.57. And this aligns, this is one of our core philosophy, is to align with the Oman 2040 vision document. One is in partnering Oman to diversify away from non-oil based economy to, oil-based to non-oil-based by 2040, and also to partner in the sustainability initiative. So what we have done is there are 4 levers to decarbonize for the steel industry. First and the foremost is invest in the right steel making technology. Today we are in the most future-ready technology, that is the DRI-NG technology, which lends itself to transition to DRI green hydrogen-based technology. And that's the most efficient technology to produce steel today. It can take you up to if everything goes well with green hydrogen, it can take you up to as low as 0.7 tons per ton of steel as against 2.32 as the average. That's one, and we are already there. We just need to transition, that I'll explain later in the later part. Second is how efficient we are in the operations. So Jindal Shadid, in every year, we save around 300,000 tons of CO2 from being emitted to the atmosphere. That is through a slew of innovative measures which are vetted by third-party agencies and benchmarking agencies as amongst the top 2 or top 3 in terms of efficiencies of resource utilization. So, like, I can just name one, is that we have a very unique hot link technology in steel, which not many have, and it's not there in the Middle East. That is, it's a gravity-fed technology for DRI. Directly, it is fed into the SMS at 700 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, what others do is they bring it down from 700 degrees to room temperature and again take it up to 700 degrees for steel making. So, this is one of the innovative things. So, this is one. And third is, what we do in terms of future-ready technologies. So, as you know, we are building one of the world's largest green hydrogen-ready steel plants in Dukum, where we will be producing green steel from green hydrogen. And we all know today, it's been quite well spoken about, is Oman has the best potential in the world because of being the 6th highest solar intensity and wind velocity comparable to Netherlands. So, and with a vast acreage of land available for production of renewables, very proactive government policies and bringing in Hydrom to enable this is going to make Dukum and probably Oman the green hydrogen hub. And we are very rightly positioned ourselves to partner the government policies by putting up a green hydrogen ready there. So that's like being future ready to enable Oman be the first supplier of green steel. And finally, carbon capture. I mean, even after everything you do, still you end up at least with 0.6 to 0.7 tons of carbon dioxide emission. We are investing in a pilot carbon capture facility which has a potential to capture at less than 50% of the current costs. If that succeeds, this alone at a full scale can save 700,000 tons of CO2 being emitted to the atmosphere. So these are some of the initiatives which we are doing, and we are proud to be partnering Oman 2040 vision in this direction.
Thank you very much for that. I've already been given a warning about the time, so Saif, a quick question to you. Oman is located in a region that's known for its harsh climate. How does the Oman Environment Authority address the unique challenges related to renewable energy and sustainability in such conditions?
Yes, actually, Environment Authority it's leading the transition. It seems like from the environment side, and according to the strategies that have been announced at the end of the last year, that we need to reach the net zero to 2050. Actually, we made there's like a short term and there's a long terms for these things. And there's a team, it's called Net Zero Team, that is established in the Environmental Authority. And this is announced after what is called Carbon Labs was at the end of the last year. And the Net Zero Team is responsible to look for the transition from the emission side. maybe we have, there is another, like the MEMS or the ABSAR and another NAMAZ groups. They are doing their part from their parts. But in our case, in Environment Authority, we are looking for the transition from the emission, from the decarbonization size. So we monitor, like we did some of the negotiations, some of the with the entities, stakeholders, and we try to reach for the net zero that we are on our strategies. The strategies, it says like by 2030 we need to reduce the emission. Actually, the emission of Oman is about 90 million tons. This is the emission of Oman at the time, the baseline, which is by 2022. So we need to reduce these emissions by 2050 to reach the net zero by 2050. But there's like a short term, we made it like by 2030, we try to reach like by 21. So we are working now with many of the ministers, with many of the entities now, to create projects to enable the transition to be in this way and to be under control. So there is many projects, as it's shown up for the time being. Okay, just to be short, there is like many projects coming with Oman to enable us to transit to net zero. And I think the power sector is leading the other sectors, is leading the industrial, leading the housing and buildings, leading the oil and gas. I think the power sector, which is the electricity, he will reach the net zero before the others for the time being.
Inshallah, we hope so. So I'm going to go through a quick round of questions, and then I'll give you the stage. I have a question for you, and I think a lot of the people here will be interested in this question. What kind of investments and collaborations is the Saudi Water Partnership Company interested in promoting for the infrastructure in Saudi Arabia?
Thank you. Saudi Water Partnership Company is wholly owned by Ministry of Finance, Saudi Arabia. The company mandate to tender for water desalination plant, transmission line, storages, strategic storages, as well as wastewater treatment. We are we are managing 8 plants or 8 companies operational worth of $7 billion. We have almost 8 under structure and then construction worth of 3.5 billion. We have tendering almost 14 projects with 8.5 billion. We have future project almost 37 projects worth of 17.5 billion. The company in total, if you sum up all these projects at different stages, will be between 37 to 40 billion. Those projects, for sure, it need energy and engineering services. It requires procurement, which is OEM. Also required construction contractors. It will require O&M, which is operation and maintenance contractors and operators. We have a very strong value proposition, and those element is vast, starting from guarantee of sales of the water through offtake agreement. We have sovereign guarantee from Ministry of Finance, and if required, we have a role in opening the dialogue with the government authority to provide license approval permit. We also have a competitive market and transparent bidding. Almost an average 55 bidders in the tenders, local and international. We also have flexible financing structure. Also, there is a lot of localization and local content role in that, which helped the country. We have also some requirement with environment that make it also sustainable. So with this portfolio that we have, a lot of project can be forecasted and investment come to the Saudi Arabia.
Thank you very much.
And just to say, this is part of vision. Contribute to the vision 2030 to contribute to in the private sector from 40% to 65% in GDP, and also contribute to the FDI from 3.8 to 5.7 GDP as well.
Perfect, thank you. So I am really short on time. I'm going to do a rapid question to all of you. I had a set of questions to go around. Maybe I can ask them to you later. But let's start with you, Mansour. In 3 words, what does sustainability mean to OQ, GN?
Sustainability. Sustainability for us, it's for OQGN is value. It's which is again part of a national agenda, in-country value about supporting national agenda, making sure our business is meeting stakeholder and shareholder expectations, and sustainability means we are available to our the duration of our concession up to the year 2070.
Inshallah. Same question goes to you, Sami.
I guess it will be generating value with low carbon future, such that the video that you showed remains for the next 50 to 100 years.
Inshallah. Safe.
Away from the ladies there, I will say sustainability is to take what you need and live without affecting the other needs.
That's a very nice definition. Harsh.
For us, it means being future ready for a green enterprise, and that's the best gift for the future generation.
مثل ما نقول ختامها مسك نفس السؤال عندك.
شكرا. Sustainability is a core business and integral part of the business nowadays, without compromising future need and meeting their own needs in the future generation.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. I do apologize for keeping it short. Please give them a big round of applause.